This training is offered by D-Live Consulting Group. My name is Christine Ogola, and I'm the business developer and training specialist at D-Live Consulting Group. So we want to welcome you to this training. This training will be offered by one of our own, Karen. So Karen Olege is basically our HR consultant and training specialist at D-Live Consulting. She's a certified HR professional and a certified project manager and also a certified coach. Karen has an extensive experience in HR practice, in training and also in project management. So currently she's our managing director and lead consultant at D-Live Consulting. And she also supports ICA Lion Group in staff development programs. So before I welcome Karen to take us through this training, I just want to welcome you all and encourage you to interact with us on the group chat. Kindly just introduce yourself on the group chat and which organization you come from, and also your position, so that we can interact with each other, know you, and also know the other person, where the other person is working, okay? So in the course of the training, if you have any question, this is a very interactive session. If you have any question, any comment, kindly key it in on the chat, or you can raise up your hand. You can use the icon for raising up your hand. Raise up your hand so that you can contribute something. But we encourage you to interact with us in the course of this training. So I'll go ahead and invite Karen to start us off on career development. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you so much, Christine, for that introduction and that invitation. Thank you also everyone who has been able to join us for the training today. We are delighted to be doing this training on career development. Welcome so much to this training by D-Live Consulting. We will be letting you know more about D-Live Consulting Limited as we go ahead. I think the introduction given by Christine is sufficient. I need not to say anything more about myself, but as she has said, please interact with us in the chat section. This is going to be quite an interactive session, so kindly take advantage. Tell us where you're working, tell us who you are so that we can connect. Apart from that, also, Christine will be sharing with you links of our website and also our info email so that you can be able to engage with us even after the training. We also do encourage for you to leave us with your email address in the chat section as we go on, so that we can be able to share with you the training material after the training. So welcome on board. For the next 45 minutes or so, we are going to engage in this topic of career development. We are going to interact, we are going to set up polls, so kindly feel free to engage. We really would like to handhold one another as we go through this journey of our careers. So I will go ahead and share my screen. So today we will be looking at career development. The outline of this session is just to see what it is, why it is important for us to talk about career development, how to set our career development goals, and how to embark on a journey of career development. We'll look at the things to consider and the action points that we need to take from this training so that we can set ourselves on the pace of career development. So I want us to begin by taking a closer look at career development and just to define what is it. I know when we talk career development, we are probably thinking many different things. There are some people who are thinking promotions, other people are thinking a higher pay grade, others are thinking maybe just a different job altogether. There is the issue of education and the career roadmap. There is mentoring, you can see from your screen. There is career success, there is training, there is money and time. There is a suitable career path. There is issues of interest. What is it that interests you? So we want to look closely at all these things and just see what is it that career development means to us. Is it just about actual growth or gut feeling? So to start us off, I'd like for us to just reflect and engage a little bit on how can we describe what we feel currently about our career journey. Where are we? Do we feel I am exactly where I think I should be? Do I feel I have stagnated in my career? Do I feel like I'm growing but not as fast as I ought to? Or do I feel like I'm growing but not as fast as I ought to? So I will just launch a poll which you can answer in a minute. How can you describe what you feel currently about your career journey? You can see the poll on your screen. Kindly tap on the response that best suits how you feel about your career journey at the moment. I see 2 people have responded, just so that we can know the problem that we are dealing with as we go along the training. I see 5 of us have responded. Thank you so much. Anyone else who hasn't responded? 6 of us have responded. Thank you. Yes, 8 of us. Thank you. 9 of us have responded. Thank you so much. 9 out of the 15 of us. Thank you so much. The ones who haven't yet responded, please engage with us. Let's know how you can describe what you feel currently about your career journey. 10 of us have responded. Thank you so much. We have 10 seconds to go. The other 6, kindly, let's see your responses. Thank you so much. 12 of us, thank you so much. Yes, 75% of us have responded. Thank you so much. 13 of us, 3 to go. 3 to go. Anyone who hasn't responded? Yes, 14 of us have responded. Thank you so much. 2 of us to go. Anyone who hasn't yet responded to this question? Good, okay. So I will end the poll. 14 of us have responded. Wow, I will share the results. The results are such like 1%, sorry, 7%. That's only 1 out of 16, or rather the 14 who voted. Only 1 feels that they are exactly where they think they should be. That's very good to hear. There is 4 of us who feel like they have stagnated in their careers. There is 9 of us who feel like they're growing, but not as fast as they ought to. 0%, I am growing faster than I anticipated. Wow. I believe you can see the results of the poll. So that's exactly where we are at. And you can see the bulk of us, 64% of us feel like they're growing, but not as fast as they ought to. 29% are feeling like they have stagnated. So this is a total of 93%. 93% of us who have either stagnated or they are growing, but not as fast as they feel that they ought to. And that is the reason why we are here to discuss about career development. What is it, and why is it that we are either growing but not as fast as we ought to, or we feel as though we have stagnated in our careers? So what is career development? It is the lifelong process of managing learning, managing work, managing leisure, and transitions in order to move toward a personally determined and evolving preferred future. I love this definition of career development because, first of all, I will just look at the aspects that I have underlined, because that is really what career development is. First of all, it's a lifelong process. That means that it's a continuously ongoing process. Career development is not an event. So you're not going to start career development today and end it. Some of us set career goals at one point in our lives, maybe when we are leaving campus, or at a certain point in our lives, and that becomes the end of it. We do not pursue, we do not keep on checking our career goals to ensure that they're evolving with us. We do not do that. Career development is a lifelong process. It's not an event. So it's something that you do continuously, you consider continuously. Today, now that we are doing this training, and every day after this training, you will have to consider your career development. Now, career development is a multifaceted aspect. It's not just about work. In fact, it's more about learning and knowledge, much as more than it's about the work. Why? Because our career development is more about what we know and what we can do. It's more about the knowledge, the competencies, and the experience that we have, as opposed to the work that we are doing currently. So it is how you manage your learning curve. It is how you manage your knowledge. It is how you manage your competencies, how you also manage work. Work is now the actual activity that you're doing at the moment. And realize that there is a big difference between learning and work. For example, I could be a HR specialist somewhere, but I also have competencies in the medical field. I could be a HR professional now, but I have a lot of competencies in communication, in marketing, in sales. So you realize that you can have broad knowledge, but the work or the activity that you're doing right now is only utilizing a certain percentage of your knowledge. So you realize that career development is more about the knowledge aspects. The knowledge that you have could be broader. You could have knowledge on ICT, knowledge on HR, knowledge on finance, experience in all these things, in projects and all that. But the work that you're doing at that particular time is just utilizing a certain skill set that you have. And it is now for you to realize, what is the gap between my knowledge and my work? What is it that I know that I'm not utilizing at the moment? And how can I ensure that I'm able to utilize 100% of my competencies, of all the competencies and the knowledge that I have in my current situation? Whether or not you're utilizing all your skill in one place or different places is a different matter, but you need to ensure that that gap has been filled, because some of us would feel like we are not growing or our careers are not developing simply because we have a lot of knowledge and experience, but whatever is being utilized at the current moment is only a certain percentage of what we know. It's also about how we manage our leisure. Career development is a lot about how we manage leisure. It's about how you take your breaks. That has a lot to do with career development. You have to consider leisure even as you're considering work. They go hand in hand. Yeah. How you manage your transitions. How do you move from one stage to the other? When do you want to take these transitions and how do you take them? When do you transition from one job to the next? When do you transition from a job to self-employment? When do you transition from self-employment back to employment? All those are part of career development. And all this is in order to move towards a personally determined, evolving future. Why is it personally determined? Career development is not about your company. It is not about the job grades that exist in the company that you work. And that is a big mistake that we mostly make, because perhaps I'm in a company where the hierarchy is such that there is an assistant manager, then a manager, then a general manager, then a director, then a CEO. So perhaps when I am an assistant manager, I see my next level is to be manager. Then after manager, my next level is to be general manager or something of the sort. But that is not what career development is about. It's not about the hierarchies that exist in your current workplace. It is about a personally determined future. Where do you want to be yourself? So that your company may or may not give you that promotion, but where is it that you want to be in terms of your career? When you're setting your career goals, it does not go in tandem with where you are, because these things change. Where you are today, it will change. Some people have left companies, jobs where they're managers. They have gone to jobs where they are less than managers, but the scope of work is actually broader. Their span of control is actually broader. And those are the things that matter, as opposed to just the rank or the title of manager. In some companies, they will actually call somebody a director, but that's a very low rank as compared to another company's manager, for example. So those are just aspects that we need to understand. It's a personally determined, and when you're personally determining your career development, it is not about ranks and positions and titles. It is about the scope of work and the span of control and the level of influence that you want to have with the expertise that you have at that time. The last aspect about career development is the evolving preferred future. Why do we say, I really love the word evolving, preferred future? Why? Because some of us set our career goals very early in life. Sometimes you're leaving campus, you're saying, I want to be an accountant. But you come out here to the market and you start to realize even the scope of accountancy is changing. Perhaps nobody is looking at accountants anymore, but there are other careers that are emerging. But because you refuse to adapt and evolve to the opportunities that are emerging, you remain stuck to a definition of career development that you had at some point in your life. Perhaps when you were young, or at some point you said, I have to be a CFO at some point, and that for you is your career goal. But now as you keep on working, you stumble upon other opportunities. For example, you stumble upon a financial engineer, but you do not want to pursue that because for you, you are static with that CFO title, and you're saying, no, for me, I'm chasing to be a CFO. But there are other opportunities that are happening around you that you're failing to look at because now you refuse to be adaptable to the future that is evolving. So again, when we are setting career development, remember we have said it's a lifelong process. So it is not that whatever goal I set today remains what is for the future. And it's also not about titles. It's about impact and knowledge and the expertise that I'm going to have. So why should we discuss about career development? It is because, one, many of us have delegated our career development to other people. We have left this to be the responsibility of other people. mostly, in fact, the biggest blame game usually goes to our supervisors. We say, this person, I do so much work, but they're not able to see. They never promote me. I've been in this role for so long. I give my best, but my supervisor has never seen. They don't promote me. They don't recognize me. And for you, career development is all about promotion. So when you sit at one level for too long, you start to feel they are not promoting me, and that's why I have stagnated in my career. Remember, you're totally responsible for your career, and that's why we have that picture on the side showing, make a chair and take a seat. Come to the table with your seat. Gone are the days when we used to say, I want a seat at the table. Come to the table with your own seat. Carry your seat. Create your role. Create your level of influence. Create your impact. The world is full of opportunities. Create your own space. Come with your seat and sit at the table. Yeah. Don't wait for somebody to invite you through a promotion or through an opportunity for somebody to come and tell you, come and do this job or the other. Some of us have delegated our career development to parents, to peers, to family. We feel like other people should actually help us grow in our career. That is actually not true. We should have total responsibility of our own career goals. And realistically speaking, our supervisors do not even remember our jobs. For them, they have their own career goals that they're chasing. They have their own careers that they're thinking about. Remember, this supervisor is supervising over 10 or 20 or 15 people. So they have no time to think about your career goal and whether they should promote you or not. They really just don't care. They have their own careers that they're chasing. So it's really up to you to determine, where do I want to be and how do I ensure that I take charge of my career development. So I hope after this training, we'll be able to end the blame game and take full responsibility of where we are at this kind of time. So if you say that I have stagnated in my career or I'm growing, but not as fast as I would like to, we would like to evaluate that and ensure that we take responsibility for our own movement and our own growth. We may blame circumstances. For example, COVID-19 came, we had layoffs. Some people were anticipating promotions, which should have come, but they did not come because of the business scenario. There are things that sometimes are out of our control. But how do we ensure that we keep on to move forward in our careers despite the extraneous factors that we really are out of control? We have to look at other options. Perhaps I was just looking for a promotion upward, but now COVID-19 has happened and there is no opportunity in my company, or there is no now budget for me to be moved upward. So I need to look across and say, how can I get more career fulfillment, not necessarily by growing upwards, but by utilizing the rest of my knowledge that I have and supporting other departments in terms of lateral movements, job rotations, and things like those. You're the only one who knows what you want to do, yeah? That's the second point. No one knows your career goals except yourself. Remember, in the definition of career development, we've said that that career goal is a personally determined goal. It is not about where my peers are. It is not about where my classmates are. Remember, I like the way we grow from age 0 to around 20, because we grow the same. We normally go as a group, especially like in this country, we go as a group. We all go to class 1. When we are done with class 1, we all go to class 2. Like that. When we get to class 8, we all go to Form 1. After Form 4, we all go to university. But after university, we don't all go to the same place. Life starts to change. Some people start to get married before they do a master's. Others buy a car before they do a master's. Others go abroad. Things start happening differently. And that's when it starts to hit us with these kinds of stresses and depression, because now you're looking around and you almost cannot, when you compare yourself with other people, you realize there is somewhere where they have gone ahead of you. And that starts to give you that feeling of, I'm stagnating, I'm not doing well enough. Why? Because now you have gotten out of the system that caused you to progress as a pack. So right now you have to make your own personal career goals. You have to make your own personal future success goals that then you can chase, as opposed to looking outside and comparing yourself with other people. So no one knows your goals except yourself. You're the only one who has that career plan. You're the only one who knows what your ambitions are. So this means, again, you have to have a career plan. You cannot fail to have this. And then you have to start to be deliberate about your movement in the pace that you would like to move. So how do we set our career goals? I would like us to begin with a reality check. We have heard about SWOT: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This is something we do to businesses. SWOT analysis is something we do to businesses. I don't know if we ever sit down and do a SWOT analysis of ourselves. What are your personal strengths? We do this for our corporates. Do you ever sit down to actually do a SWOT analysis for yourself? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Before even I look at the opportunities and threats, because now that's another level. What is that is innate of me? What are my strengths and weaknesses? What is it that I can do best of? because then we need to utilize the full set of our skills when we are thinking about career development. You will realize that this is actually a 360-degree view of who you are. Your career development is not just about what you went to school to study. It is about the full set of capabilities that you have and how you can deploy those in your current workspace and also your other circles that are non-work. So what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? I would like you to perhaps take an exercise after this. Just note that down, that you will sit down and actually list down your strengths and weaknesses. Don't just think about them, but actually list them down so that you can see. There is a time I sat down to actually do a SWOT analysis of myself, and I think that's where this training came from. Because I realized, number one, I'm a very interactive person. I like to interact. I like to talk to people. By nature, I love to teach. I love to train. So it's something that I can actually do, and I can do sessions where I'm actually training people for free because it's an ability that I have. It's something that I do without so much stress and pressure. And just by doing it, I feel fulfilled in my career. So nobody would pay you maybe for certain things, but it makes me feel like a fulfilled and a total human being. So you need to sit down and look at those strengths. Perhaps even the place you're working now does not utilize the full set of your skills. So there is that potential that is within you that you're not able to deploy. And that's what is giving you that feeling of, I'm not utilizing myself. I have stagnated. But you just need to put yourself out there with those strengths that you have and push your personal brand as much as you can with the abilities that you have. Being aware of your weaknesses, of course, also helps you to find partners, to know who to work with, because you know this is the area of weakness that I have, and I need to find somebody who can fill in this gap for me. Before you now look at the opportunities that you have within and without, where you are at, what are those things that you can do, and what are the threats. The other aspect is for you to define career fulfillment for yourself. What does career fulfillment mean to you? It does not mean the same thing to everybody. Career fulfillment for one person would mean, I just want a job that is close to where I live, because I have a family and I would not like to be very distant from where they are. For other people, career fulfillment just means a flexible working schedule. For other people, career fulfillment would just mean a job security, that I can have my job without fearing that one day I will lose it. For other people, it's just to have a career that allows me to take care of my children. That is what career fulfillment is for them. For others, it's a career that allows me speedy growth. For others, it's a career that allows me that autonomy of decision making, because I'm a highly creative person, I'm very innovative, and I cannot survive in an environment where my growth is stifled and there is so much bureaucracy that is happening around me. So what does career fulfillment mean for you? It does not mean the same thing for everyone. So get to define this thing for yourself. Also consider your must-haves. What must I have in my job, and what is it that's good to have? Must-have can be in terms of location, could be in terms of hours of work, could be in terms of the nature of work. Define these things for yourself, list them down. What this helps you to do is that it sets you up for the right working environment. Most of us, sometimes we find ourselves in the wrong working environment, in an environment where we can't grow simply because it is not in tandem to what fulfillment means for us. It is not in tandem to what really our core desires about a job are. Remember, it's not just about the pay. People have quit jobs because of a bad working environment. People have quit jobs because of the working hours. People have quit jobs because they're not able to do their social lives with the jobs that they have. So remember, it is not always about the pay. And the pay has a way of blinding us so that we are not able to evaluate the other factors. So I would encourage you to actually list these things down. They will help you to set yourself up for the right working environment. And there are jobs that you will be seeing on LinkedIn, and you will be clear that this is not a job I can apply for, because in the first place, even the mobility of the job is something that I cannot work with. There are jobs that really require you to move around a lot, to be in many countries all at the same time. Yet for you, what is important for you is to be at a place where you're stable and you're able to take care of your family. Or maybe for you, you actually want that mobility, but this job is not giving you any of that. So you end up being frustrated and feeling as though you're stagnating in your career. You're not getting the adequate fulfillment from the job that you are at. So this assessing these factors, these three factors, the SWOT analysis, the career fulfillment, what it means for you, and the must-haves and the good-to-haves for your job, this will actually set you up for the right working environment. Also, when you're considering the career development, you need to ask yourself these 8 questions. What is the career path that you desire? Do you desire a managerial or team leader career path, or do you desire a specialist or expert career path? I will explain what these are. It is very important to know these factors, because you're looking at career development. What kind of a person are you? Are you the kind of person who wants to grow into a managerial role or a team leader role, or you actually want to grow into a specialist role? A managerial career path will set you in a place where you're actually taking care of a team. That's where you find heads of departments, you find heads of functions. They grow into those roles where they are taking care of a group or a team of people. Now, remember, when you're growing into a team leader career path, this career path will require you to have one thing. It will require you to have people management skills, because now you're going to take care of a team. So you realize that as you grow, the kind of training and knowledge that you need is not more on the technical skills, because the technical work is going to be done by your team. Remember, when you're a manager, the technical work is actually done by the team. So it is the team that needs to understand the technical aspects of the work. For you, you need to have general knowledge of that, but you need to be now a better administrator of resources, a better motivator to your team, and generally a better people manager. There are people also who are not good with people. I have worked in an organization where we actually gave one lady a promotion. She was so good at her job, and we gave her a promotion into a managerial role. And she said, no, I don't want to take care of people. I don't know how to work with people. I don't know how to discipline staff. I don't know how to confront them when they come late. I don't know what to do with them when they start lying to me that they had emergencies, which I know very well that they did have. She was just not good at the people aspect. So she said, you know what, I would just like to continue being a specialist. So she just wants to continue doing her role, but not necessarily to be given a managerial responsibility. So you need to consider that, because a company is going to give you a managerial responsibility, not knowing that you're not good at the people aspect. And you will start to feel bad that you now cannot use your technical competency. Instead, you're required to be a better team leader, which is just not your inclination. Yeah. Or at times you may be in a career that is asking you to just be a specialist. And this happens especially in IT companies where people are doing a lot of software development and all that. So you're never given a team. You're never coached to be a team manager, but you're just an expert in software development, and you would wish to actually go on a managerial career path. So consider, which kind of career path would I like to go into? What levels of interaction am I looking for? Am I looking for a high level of interaction, or am I looking for a low level of interaction? This again is in terms of your contacts within and outside of the office. There are people who do not like to interact, and this requires you to actually be very honest with yourself. There are people who do not like to interact so much, and you realize if you're a manager, then again your level of interaction will be very high. If, for example, you're in customer experience, your level of interaction will be very high. If you're in project management, your level of interaction will be very high. So as you're considering your career path, what level of interaction would you need to have? Yeah. What level of contacts would you need to have, and at what levels? Level of communication. How much communication would you like to be making? There are people who are actually not very comfortable with communicating to audiences. For example, if you're doing my job where you are a training manager, your level of communication will be very high. I do these kinds of trainings every other day. I'm doing such meetings every other day where I have to keep on communicating. So if you're not the kind of person who enjoys to communicate, then such a kind of a job would actually be detrimental to you. But you would see it somewhere on LinkedIn and you apply. Why? Because perhaps it's more money. You're seeing, wow, this company is big. There is more money here involved. So I can work to this company. Kindly mute. Thank you so much. And so by doing that, you tend to imagine that you can do the job, but when you get there, you realize that you can't. And even when we are considering our businesses, it's the same thing you need to consider. Some of us set ourselves up for businesses that really require a high level of communication, but that is not our orientation. What nature of work would you like? Would you like routine and rule-based tasks, or are you better off in a creative and innovative space? Excuse me. So again, that's a consideration that you need to make. Yeah. Do you like more a job that is routine and rule-based, or do you like a job where you're asked to be creative every other time and come up with things? Again, it is not everybody's. Sometimes when we set these things up on a slide and you say, do you like routine or creative? Everybody will jump to creative. But when you're put in that creative space and told, conceptualize, how we will be able to come up with a system that can do ABCD, again, your mind blocks. You're not able to do that. So you really need to be honest with yourselves and ask yourself, am I a better leader innovator, creator, or am I a better follower? Am I a better implementer of things? Some people are actually just good at implementing other people's ideas. They're just waiting for a visionary to say, this is the direction we need to take. And then now you're better off at chasing that idea. Yeah, other people are good at coming up with the ideas, but they are not good implementers. So you need to find out which one of the two are you. The other consideration you need to make is time and location. Of course, issues of proximity or to work, issues of time, how flexible are the working hours. I one time when I was younger, I walked into an office that was requiring me to work 11 hours a day. The job, the pay was good at the time. It was way going to be an upgrade of what I was getting, because at that time I was actually an intern and I was earning an intern's pay. So this was going to be an actual job and the money was looking good, but I was imagining 11 hours a day and I was just like, that cannot work for me. It was going to be too much for me. And such are the considerations that you make. Sometimes we blind ourselves to those aspects and we just get into this job because we are like, it has no money. In any case, there's nothing else that I'm doing right now. But no, when you get in there, it's actually going now to cause you to say, I have stagnated in my career or I'm not fulfilled in my career. Issues of location. Sometimes, again, we set ourselves up and we go to very remote places. I see some jobs happening even in Somali, and people are applying, they go there, but then they cannot survive even beyond 2 months because of the environment that they are in, despite the fact that the pay is good. Sometimes the sector and industry preferences. Which sectors would you want to work for? Manufacturing or service industry or telecommunications. There are some people who cannot just work around the manufacturing industry and the craziness that goes on around production. Again, you have to be very clear with such things. Then again, there's the aspect of height versus depth of growth. You know you can grow upwards, yeah? You can grow vertically. And by that, I mean in rank. So where you are, you can be promoted, be the next job grade and the next job grade and the next job grade. But what we ignore is the depth of growth. Where I am at in my current role, I can actually grow in the depth of knowledge that I have, in the depth of expertise that I have about my current role without necessarily being promoted. And it is actually going to be detrimental to you if you grow upwards without growing in depth, because you're going to be a manager who knows nothing about their job. And it is usually so clear, and people actually despise you because you have grown, you have become a very top level manager, but you have no understanding of the role. You have not grown in depth. So while we are seeking for height, we are seeking to grow vertically, let us also grow in the depth of knowledge that we have. Consider also growth in learning, knowledge, and experience. We've talked about that. Career development is not about the work. It's about the learning. It's about the knowledge and the experience that you have. So endeavor to grow in your knowledge, endeavor to take short courses. We have a lot of courses that are going on LinkedIn that are for free. We have a lot of courses like this one offered by DLive, where we are charging nothing and we are offering these trainings. We have trainings that are being offered by many other institutions. I know, like, for example, IBM Digital Nation, they have a lot of free courses in their website that you can take. There are some that are paid, there are some that are free. And there are a lot of those things, yeah? You can actually grow in depth of knowledge and expertise that you have, so that at the end of the year, I have not been promoted, but I have actually increased my knowledge, I have increased my experience, I have increased my expertise, and that sets me up being ready for my next move. What level of impact or influence do you want to have? There are people who want to have impact out there in large volumes. There are others who just want to have a small space where they're influential. Again, you have to think about, you have to consider these things as you consider your career development. So as you define your career development goals, consider these things. Don't just say, I want to be a CFO. Because let me tell you what that does to you. You will say, in the next 2 years, I want to be a CFO. And then somebody will take you to be a CFO of a poultry farm, a very small one with just 10 chicken. And they tell you you're the head of finance there. Is that going to give you career fulfillment? You will realize no. Why? Maybe because you were actually targeting a higher level of influence and impact. You didn't want to just have impact over a small chicken farm. You wanted to have impact over a big corporate. You realize, yeah, perhaps you wanted a certain kind of allocation, a certain kind of interaction with people in the corporate space. So now that you have been put as a CFO of a very small shoe shop, you now cannot operate. It does not give you career fulfillment. Yeah, and you realize you would have gotten that career fulfillment if I just told you that you're the financial advisor in a big insurance firm. So you're not even a CFO, but you have the level of impact and influence that you are looking for. And that's why when you're defining career development, you do not define it in terms of titles. Instead, you define it in terms of these 8 aspects: the career path that you're looking for, the level of interaction and communication that you're looking for, the nature of work, the time and location, and the sector and industry preferences, the height and depth of growth, the growth in learning, knowledge, and expertise, and the level of impact that you need to have. I will pause at that point. And just to know that we've been listening, I will set up another poll so that I assess 5 of these areas. Which ones do you, as you reflect and you start to think, which ones do you think you are more inclined to? Do you think you're more inclined to managerial career path or specialist? Do you think you require high levels of interaction with people? You're the kind who wants to interact with everyone or not? Do you think you're somebody who loves communication? I will also give you a personal experience about interaction. I am extremely sociable, so I like to work with people. I got into a job that was requiring me to just sit at my desk. I was hardly talking to anyone. I did not actually have people around me. My job was more, I could do the A to Z without interacting with anybody. It really set me on a wrong path because I was now starting to feel depressed, and I was asking myself, is this the right place? Is this the right job that I should be in? And I realized, and I was actually feeling sick, to the extent that you go to a doctor and the doctor is like, there's nothing wrong with you. But there's something wrong because you're not feeling okay. And at that point, I realized I was actually missing out on a fundamental aspect of myself, because remember, our workplaces is where we spend 8 hours in a day. So if 8 hours in a day is robbing me of the very core of who I am, then of course I'm going to feel like something is wrong. So when I sat there after a couple of months and things were not going okay, I actually saw a psychologist who was able to diagnose the issue. They told me there is something wrong with the work environment, because they were asking me what has changed in your life, and they asked me, have you moved a home? Have you done this? Have you done that? And I told them, no, I just have a new job. And they told me, describe the job for me. And after going through that, they actually told me your current job is very different from your previous. So you are thriving in your previous because of this aspect of interaction, which you're missing out largely on your current job. So what did I do? I went to the same place, because now I could not quit my job. I went to the same place, but I just gave myself the role of a customer experience person. And I started to do customer experience, and I started interacting with staff and customers. And voila, my life was better. And that is what it means. You can imagine now for 2 months, I was actually in a very stressful environment, but it is just because the job was not addressing the core of who I am. There are people who are set in environments where they need to be talking the whole day to people, and that kills them, because they actually cannot survive in an environment where they're required to talk. So such a person just needs to find a team where they can delegate all the field work to, and they can remain in the office doing the administrative tasks, because that is what they thrive in. And that is what career development is about. So I will launch my polls at this point. I see a lot of chats happening. I will catch up with that just in a little while. But I will ask us now to go to the second poll. Which career path do you think is your preference? Just having described, of course, you will go and think about it a little bit more, but what career path do you think is your preference? Is it the managerial team leader, or is it the expert specialist? I have launched the poll. Your votes in 1 minute. In 1 minute, one person has said, 3 people, wow, 6 people. Yes, 36% of us have voted. A few more seconds for that. Thank you so much. 12 of us have voted. Let me see the rest of us kindly. Which career path do you think is your preference? 14 of us have voted. Thank you so much. 16 of us. That's very good. Very good response. Anyone else who hasn't yet voted? I see we are 6 of us who haven't yet voted. 17, that's very good. Keep going, keep going. Anyone else? A few more seconds, 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds, 6 more seconds before I close the poll. Okay, 77% of us have responded. I'm going to end the poll at that point and share the results. 65% of us, that's 11 people, have said they would prefer the managerial stroke team leader career path. There's 35% who are 6 people who said they'd prefer the expert stroke specialist career path. You already see that while, you could be the one who prefers team leader and you think everybody wants to go that way. Actually, the answer is no. Not everybody wants to be a manager. Some people just want to be experts in their job and they don't want to be bothered with team leader responsibilities. They don't want to have to follow up on mothers who are saying, oh, sorry, I've taken my child to hospital. They don't want to deal with such complexities. And I'm sorry to say, but this is mostly the male gender. They don't know how to deal with emotional issues. So they would just prefer to be an expert in their job and say, don't give me a manager's responsibility because I don't even want to deal with people issues. But others are ready for team leader responsibilities. So this 35%, if you now put them in a career path where you think you're rewarding them and telling them, in fact, I have promoted you to be manager, they're actually not excited about it. And they're actually going to not be fulfilled in that place where you have put them. So I'll stop sharing that. I'll launch the next poll, which is asking us, what level of interaction do you like? Do you prefer? Is it the high level of interaction, you want to talk to a lot of people, or you just want to talk to minimal people and just do your job behind your desk without anybody bothering you? I have launched the poll. Your responses, please. Wow. 2 people have voted. Keep going, keep going. Yes, responses are coming in. Responses are coming in. 10, yes, responses are coming in. Very good. Keep going, keep going. 15 of us have responded. Thank you so much. Yes, the rest of us keep going. 72% of us have responded. Very good. 18 out of 23 have responded. Let me have more, 5 more. 20 more seconds, please, for the 5 of us to respond. I know you're thinking. Keep thinking. Let's see. Okay, 10 more seconds to go. 3 of us haven't responded. 20 of us have responded. 5 more seconds. 3 more seconds, and I will end the poll. And the responses is that 65% of us would prefer high level of interaction. 35% of us would prefer low level of interaction. Again, I'm displaying it for you to just see. We don't all want to talk to everybody. Yeah, some of us just want to be in a quiet space where we do our work and nobody is bothering us. So again, you see, if you're in that low category and you go and choose a job, maybe a sales job, that is asking you to go out there and sell things, you're going to be frustrated. I'll be asking you whether you feel like you have stagnated or where are you in your career, and you're going to be saying, I feel as though I've stagnated. I feel as though I'm not in the right place. I feel as though I'm stressed in my job, much as it's paying you a lot of money. Why? Because you've been put in an environment where you cannot thrive. Next question, next poll. This is our second last. What is the level of communication that you need? This is related to the previous, so I expect sort of just like the same kind of responses. I have launched the poll. Responses, please. Level of communication. Would you like to be talking to many people, sending 100 emails a day, or would you prefer just 2 emails where you give a status update and you're done? Would you like to be receiving calls from customers the whole day and communicating and telling them, welcome to this company, welcome to the Live Consulting, what can I do for you? Is that the kind of communication you would like to be having? I see your responses. 15 of us have responded. 30 more seconds. 19 of us have responded. Yes, 20 more seconds. 21 of us have responded. Very good. Very good. A few more seconds for this. Only 2 people. Ah, wow. This one has almost 100% response rate. Only 1 of us hasn't responded. 5 more seconds, 3 more seconds, 2 more seconds, 1 more second, and I end the poll. And the poll is showing 68% of us would like a high level of communication, that you want to communicate a lot. These are the kind of people who you want to send to the field to do sales. You want to send them to the customer contact center where they can just be receiving calls. Hello, this is Safaricom. What is your issue? What can we do for you? This is your group. And there is 32% who would like low level of communication. Again, you're able to see the results for yourself. Finally, very lastly, last question, the nature of work. Are you better with clear instructions, structured work, routine and rule-based work, or are you better with creative and spontaneous and a highly changing and dynamic workspace? I launched the poll. Need for us to respond. Yes, 2 responses so far, good. 5, yes, 6, 7, 9, good, 10. 11 responses. Good, keep going. 14 responses, keep going. Those of us who haven't responded, very good. Keep going. 18%, 20, sorry, not 18%, but 18 of us, 21 of us. Only 3 remaining, 3 people remaining. I give 10 more seconds for the 3 remaining. 4 more seconds. And I end the poll. Very good. 29% of us would actually prefer routine and rule-based work. 71% of us would prefer creative and spontaneous work. Again, you see, so these people who have routine and rule-based work, they're not going to be very good at working in startups where there's no structure. Yeah. So again, you may see a job out there advertised, I don't know what, and it's a company that is not with structure because it's a startup, and you throw yourself in it because maybe the money is good, but you're actually not going to have the career fulfillment that you're looking for because that's not your space. The others of them that are looking for creative and spontaneous, again, you need to look for workspaces that enable you to do exactly that. So that poll was just to help us see that indeed we have different preferences. Yeah. So while you would be thinking, no, everybody likes to be in a creative space, that's actually wrong. Well, you would be thinking people like, and I don't have a poll on mobility, but if we would do a poll on global mobility, how many of us want a job where 50% of the time you're out of the country? Maybe some of us would be like, yeah, that's my type. I want to be traveling. But you would realize, again, a large number are like, no, I just want to be here. I want a place that is just stable. I go out of my house every day and I come back. So there is all that to actually consider when you're considering career development. So having said that, what are the next steps? How do we take the journey to career development? Number 1, build your professional network. Now, what we have just gone through in the previous 2 slides is going to help us to set our career goals. When you're setting your career goals, those are the things that you're going to actually be reflecting on as you set those goals. Yeah. So that as you set your goals, you're not just setting a goal of, I want to be CFO, I want to be this, I want to work in Safaricom, I want to work in Bidco, I want to work maybe in the UN. No, you're actually going to look at those factors critically and write down what really is my preference. Where do I want to be in light of these factors? So that the job title will not matter. What will matter is that I have the right level of interaction that I need, the right level of communication that I need, the nature of work is the type that I need, the location and flexibility of time is what I need. Those are the considerations that you're going to make. So whatever the name of the job they will call it, as long as you have that package of the things that actually define you, then you will go there because that's what career fulfillment is going to look like for you. So number 1, build your professional network. Please build your professional network. Get into professional groups. Some of us are not even in professional groups. If you're an accountant, there is a professional group for that. If you're a HR specialist, there is a professional group for that. These days, we even have WhatsApp groups that are specific for our profession. So please look for those ones and join, because then you have like-minded people who you can share ideas and knowledge with. Remember, your network is your net worth. Focus on the industry. Sometimes you're in insurance industry, but you're a HR professional. Don't just interact only with HR professionals, but interact with everybody in the insurance industry, interact with everybody in the financial services sector, so that you can then understand the trends and the things that are happening in that sector and the kind of problems that you can solve. And those will inform the career path that you actually want to take. Attend workshops, attend seminars, organize coffees and lunches with colleagues and non-colleagues, even outside work. Talk to people on LinkedIn and other professional sites. Just simply grow your professional network. Reach out to people. The worst they can do is tell you, no, I don't want to link up with you, but just make sure that you're building that professional network. Who are your friends? Have as much professional friends as you can possibly have. Build your technical expertise and share knowledge. Technical expertise, remember we said career development is all about knowledge. So build your technical expertise. Go for all the trainings that are advertised by DLive Consulting. Go for all trainings that are advertised by other companies. Some of them are free, others are paid. It could only cost you 1,000 shillings or 1,500 or 1,000 or 2,000. Please invest in those kinds of training. Cross-skilling means that learn other things, learn other competencies. I've just told you, for me, my area is HR. I am more inclined to training and learning and development. However, I also learn what customer experience has to offer, so that then if somebody has a customer experience opportunity, I can quickly jump into it. Why? Because it will also give me the fulfillment. It will allow me to interact with people. It will allow me to communicate with people. It will allow me to be creative within my workspace and all that kind of thing. So it's a different kind of job, but it has the same kind of package that I'm always looking for. So kindly cross-skill. Do not just be focused on I'm an accountant and I'm an accountant. All I do is bank reconciliations. No, please cross-skill, and that will help you grow your career laterally, even when you're not growing upward. Solicit for feedback. What does soliciting for feedback mean? Please get people who can tell you about your job, who can give you feedback about you. We all know about the Johari's window. There is things that I know about myself that other people also know. There are things that I know about myself that people don't know, but there are things that people know about me that I don't know. And then there are also things that I don't know and other people don't know. Now, soliciting for feedback assists you to know how do people view me as. People can help you, excuse me. People can help you identify who you are. When you're doing a SWOT analysis, ask your friends, ask your peers, ask your colleagues, what do you think are my two biggest strengths? What do you think are my two biggest weaknesses? This helps you in light of personal development. Improve your communication and confidence. Get to improve your communication and confidence. Remember that most jobs really require you to be a good communicator. They require you to be good with your confidence. Yeah. So get to grow, get to join into some of these classes like Toastmasters that will help you build your confidence, know how to talk before people, be a better communicator. Because remember, in the workplace, you only get what you ask for. So if you're not good at asking, you're not good at communicating, you're not good at relaying your feelings and your emotion about stuff, then it's really going to stifle your career growth. You're going to be there doing the most, but then because now you can't talk to your boss and say, hey, look, I have done this and this and that, and I would like to get a bigger role or a bigger scope, or I would like to actually partner with this other department with marketing and branding. Much as I am in sales or customer experience, I'd like to also work with marketing to just explore this other capability that I have. You will be unable to do that, and that means your career fulfillment will be stifled. Give and receive. In terms of mentorship and coaching, remember, you actually learn by training other people, by teaching other people. So find people who you can handhold. Never underestimate the power of a mentor or a coach in your professional life. Never underestimate the power of a mentor or a coach, let me tell you. And when you say mentors or coaches, it doesn't mean you have to have this one huge mentor who tells you everything about life. No. You don't have to have one specific one. You can always be mentored by different people at different points. Just ensure that there is somewhere you're feeding from and you're also feeding someone else. So today I can have a conversation with someone and say, look, this is where I am at with my career. What do you think I can do? What are my next steps? How can I improve in this or that? We just have that conversation. I don't even have to tell this person you're my mentor, but that's actually a mentorship conversation. And it's done. It can even be a one-off, and it's done. I may not have to see that person again, but in my life, I am ensuring that I am receiving from somewhere, and I am also giving. Handhold. Get into these groups and ask, is there anybody who would like to be mentored in the humanitarian sector? Maybe that's where you've worked. Is there anybody who would like to be mentored in nursing or medicine? That's where I am, and I'm able to share. And it doesn't mean a lifelong commitment. It just means you can just set up a 1-hour meeting with somebody twice in a month, and you do it and you're done. Just by doing that, it will help you to grow yourself professionally. So in the chat section, which of these aspects do you think is hardest for you to achieve? We are looking at taking the journey. These are 6 factors. Which one do you think will be hard for you? Building your professional network, building your technical expertise, cross-skilling, soliciting for feedback in the chat section. Engage me so that we can see where are the problem areas, and perhaps that will help us craft our next training. Will the biggest issue be in confidence and communication? Will the biggest issue be in giving and receiving mentorship and coaching? Where do you think will be your greatest challenge? It is very good to highlight that so that then you know where do you need to give more focus to, because these 6 areas are totally important. Reflect on that. The things to consider: first, be ready to evolve. We said that career development is all about evolving and evolving. So you cannot afford to be static. You cannot afford to say, no, I just want to do this and it is this alone. No. Gone are the days when you would say, I just want to do this one thing. And that is all you want to do for life. Remember, you could be saying, I want to be an accountant. Then by the time you're done with college, you never get an accountant job. But you get a business in agriculture. Be ready to embrace an evolving future. Remember, you will spend about 35 years of your life working. assuming retirement age is 60, you start working at 25. So 35 years you will be working. That is over 80,000 hours of working. Ask yourself, these 80,000 hours, do I just want to spend them in accounting? Or do I just want to spend 80,000 hours in a medical room taking care of patients? Or do I want to spend 80,000 hours doing bank reconciliations? What is it really that I want to do with my 35 years of working? Reflect on that. Yeah, focus on a sector or an industry as opposed to a specific job title. Focus on the problems that you want to solve and the impact that you want to have to your own life and also to the community around you. Secondly, let the meanwhiles work for you. What are the meanwhiles? The meanwhiles are those places where you are as you wait for your big break. Some of us want a job in HR, but it is not coming. Instead, right now, you are in accounting. Learn as much as you can from that accounting because there are a lot of skills that you will have then to carry into HR. Learn as much as you can from project management because when you're going into customer experience, there's a lot that you will need to carry into that new job. So ensure that when you are somewhere, some of us, when we are at a certain job, we are like, I can't even give my best here because this is not where I want to be. I'm looking forward to be something else. I'm looking forward to be, a customer experience manager. So here in HR, I'm just passing time as I wait. No, learn as much as you can in that HR. And in some cases, you don't even know where your career is headed. Sometimes it's actually headed in that very thing that you're doing at that moment. For some of us, we did not grow up thinking we want to be HR specialists. It's a career we stumbled upon. But right now we are doing it as though we were born for it. Why? Because we embraced the meanwhiles. So learn as much as possible in your current role. Give it your best so that as you're headed towards where you want to go in your career, there is enough lessons that you can carry and you have actually built a good brand for yourself. Not as somebody who was a lousy accountant because they were waiting to be a marketing person, but somebody who was a good accountant, but now that they have moved to marketing, they're also a good marketer. Figure out your successes. We have said success is a personally determined initiative. So your success is not based on what other people's definition for success is. They may be looking like they're doing well because now their jobs are taking them out of the country every month. But is that what you want? That's not what you want. What is success for you? What is career fulfillment for you? Define that for yourself. Utilize company support programs. Some of us are in companies that are willing to pay for our training, pay for professional courses, but we just never have the time for these. Please engage as much as possible. If you're in a company that can pay for a training, do a training. If you're in a company that can pay for a seminar or a workshop, look for that workshop and do it. It is not your boss's job to come and tell you it is time for you to do CPA, or it is time for you to do CII, or it is time there is actually this workshop that you can go for. No, it is your role to look for that workshop and that seminar and come to your boss and tell them there is this workshop. It is only 3,000 shillings. It is happening at Radisson Blue. It is only one day. Can I go? And just by doing that, you're expanding your professional network. Be deliberate. We have said that career development is a lifelong process. It is not an event. So it is accumulation of the daily activities that you do towards your career. Small wins, etc. You need to celebrate this. Be very deliberate about what you do, the experience that you get. Be willing to volunteer. Be willing to go somewhere on a Saturday and just mentor kids around the profession that you are in. Be willing to just handhold someone. Do things pro bono because that really helps you to also work on your personal brand. Make each day count in terms of success. Make each day count in terms of your career development journey. Every day, learn how to close. Salespeople know how to close a sale. What we don't know is how to close a day, and how to close a week, and how to close a month. At the end of the day, take stock. Ask yourself, have I done anything towards career development today? Have I made one extra interaction? Have I mentored or coached one person? It could be in a statement. You understand? It is daily wins. Career development is not one thing you wake up to. It is not this one big experience that you will have. No, it is your everyday job. How do you take off? This is my last slide. The action. Make a clear career plan with short-term, with medium-term, and with long-term goals, and with timelines. And remember, when you're making this plan, go back to those things that we talked of, those 8 aspects that really define what a good career is for you. Identify the actions that you need to take on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. Remember, we have said career fulfillment and achievement is an everyday journey. There is no grand landing. There is no one day when I will just wake up and boom, I am a CFO of a big company. No, it takes deliberate small steps every day. What am I doing towards that big goal that I have set on a daily basis? Yeah. Get accountability, get a support system, get an accountability system. Remember, if you're not accountable to anybody, then you will actually, your goals will fall off the cracks. Share your goals with somebody. If you have a professional mentor, share your goals. Tell them by the end of this year, this is where I want to be at. By the end of 2 years, this is where I want to be at, so that they can keep account. Share even with your best friend. These people are good at keeping account. I know you see Kristen on this call, and she's one of my accountability system. So I share my goals, and then she will ask me, you said you will do this. You said you'll do a training on Friday. Where are we with this one? And remember, if she doesn't ask me, I will do nothing about it. I'll just sit and be lazy. But the fact that she's reminding me and telling me, you said that you will do this, you said that you will communicate this, you said that you will start this group, then sometimes I do it not because I want, but because she's nagging. But you realize that it's actually setting me on a path towards my career development. Identify colleagues or people you can coach or mentor. Remember, we have said it's like the freshwater lake concept. You have to receive, you have to give for you to have life growing in within you. Then track your progress. Whatever doesn't get measured doesn't get done. So as long as you're not measuring your progress, then it is not getting done. Have an accountability system and be ensure to track your progress. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings me to the end of the session as we reflect on what am I going to do differently from today. You can share with us in the chat section. And at this point, I'm just going to invite Christine to bring me up to speed with what has been happening in the chat section.
Thank you for such an insightful session. We have a lot of interaction in the comment section, and we have good feedback, good comments from the chat. Let me start by Selam said it's very interesting and important topic. So this is a very interesting and important topic. Mercy said interesting and enlightening session. Lucy commented, for now in my early career, I prefer to be an expert, then later on management when I know my craft and understand people better. So thank you, Lucy. Redemptor said good insight there. There's also a question, Mercy asked, is it possible to be in a managerial or leader or team leader position with low level of interaction? So note that question. So basically, he's asking what interaction means. What exactly do you mean by a high or low level of interaction? Someone said, I prefer routine-based, but sometimes I feel just to be spontaneous. Someone said, I'm learning a lot from the session. I think building a beneficial professional network is a challenge. So this is the question where you're asking which challenge. So people are saying, someone said, Lucy said, building a professional network is a challenge for her. Redemptor said, building professional network as well. Brenda said, building professional network is also a challenge, and also giving and receiving mentorship. Personally, my greatest challenge is mentorship, giving and also receiving mentorship, especially in a field that is not my own. A lot of people basically are saying building professional network is their challenge. Mercy said the same. Redemptor said the same. Brenda said getting mentorship when I'm not in the field I want to work is a challenge. So thank you everyone for commenting. Keep on going. If you have questions, keep on keying in your questions. Yes, Karen, back to you.
Thank you so much for the interaction in the chat section. I will answer one question. Can you be in the managerial career path while you desire low levels of interaction? And the other question was just what is low levels of interaction? So low levels of interaction is about contact. The people you're contacting every day. How many people in a day do you actually just contact? For those of you who are HR specialists in this space and you have done job evaluation, you know that job evaluation exercise and all job evaluation tools, they go into the detail of defining what these things are. And really, this is what defines a job. For example, that level of interaction or the contacts. How many people are you interacting with in a day? And it can just be as simple as that, either in your employment or in your business. We know there are businesses that require you to interact with so many people in a day. For example, look at me, I'm a trainer. Just in this one meeting, I am with 30 of you. If I do another training, I'm with another 30. In another training, I'd be with another 40. There is a lot of people that I interact with. And right now, we are doing it in a virtual space, so it seems quite easier. But of course, when we were doing it classroom one-on-one, that means you're going to be dealing with a lot of personality issues, people who are stubborn, people who are loud, others are quiet, others are this and that. And, by the end of the day, you have dealt with personalities of over 60 people. They're actually different. Sometimes you're out there in the field actually working and you're having to interact with a lot of people. And that requires you to almost have a very high level of emotional intelligence to keep your head, a level head, while interacting with everybody. That's what levels of interactions mean. So some people, yes, they want that. They want to interact with everybody. Others would prefer just minimal. Of course, you're going to work with people, but you just want maybe 1 or 2 or 3. You don't want all those levels of interaction. Can you be on a managerial path, yet you desire low levels of interaction? The answer is yes. What now you need to answer there is the sector and industry preferences. The difference is going to be in that. Because remember, you can be a manager. Like for those of you who work in corporates, you understand that, for example, a manager in a HR team will have, or let me not go HR, let me say maybe there are some managers who have a smaller span of control. And with that small span of control, that is their level of interaction. So they just have 4 or 5 people that they interact with on a daily basis. And this is, for example, like in highly technical jobs. For example, a head of IT. A head of IT, a manager in IT, first of all, they don't solve client cases. Client cases are being solved by their team. So for them, they just manage their team. That is highly specialized in a technical area. The person doing network issues is doing network issues. The person doing security is doing IT security. The person sorting out the help desk is sorting out the help desk. And it's a highly technical area. So these people only come to the boss when there is actually a very big technical issue that they cannot resolve. So you realize this head of IT can actually lock themselves in their office and sit there the whole day. They're a manager. They may just interact, but interact very less. But if you're a manager in a production team, then you're not going to be able to run away from interaction. So what you are going to have to answer is now, what is the sector or industry preference? That would be my answer to that question. I see most people say they have a challenge in building professional networks and then giving and receiving mentorship. Now, at this point, perhaps what I can do is to share with you my experience also. Yes, I think also for me, these were a challenge. But the biggest question is, they say at the end of your comfort zone or at the end of your fears, that's where success begins. I think I can share this testimony that I have with Christine. Recently, I thought of creating a professional network for trainers, for corporate trainers and learning and development heads in institutions. And I was thinking, how do I get these people? How do I just get to strangers and tell them, come and join me? But one day I just shared a message on LinkedIn and I said, guys, if you're into training and into learning and development, please join me so that we can share experiences. We can share learning, we can share expertise. And just like that, in a day, I think we had over 100 people in our WhatsApp group, which now we manage and we share a lot of, and we don't even have to do anything in that group because that group actually has the experts. So the experts are saying what they need to say, and we are learning from one another, and the group has been very engaging. So do not be afraid to make the first move. Please just do it, make your professional contacts, and grow your professional network. The worst that can happen is that somebody will tell you, no, I don't want to interact. So get out of your fear zone, and somebody is saying, and that's how I met you, Karen, you're right, it's a nice group. Yes, it is a good group, and that's just an experience of you falling off the cliff and going beyond your fears. Giving and receiving mentorship, again, be willing to reach out. You don't have to make it formal and saying, hi, I am now henceforth going to be your mentor, or hi, I need you to be my mentee. If I pick up a phone call and I ask you, look, I'm struggling with this and this and that, I would like to know, have you experienced something like this in your workspace? How did you deal with it? Somebody will tell you, there was this time my boss did this and I did this, and let me tell you what you need to do is just to handle it in this manner. That is mentorship. Imagine that is mentorship. And you didn't even mention the word mentor anywhere in that conversation, but you've been mentored. And I find that when you try to make things too formal, people run away from them because somebody wonders, what will be my responsibility? She's asking me to be her mentor. So what is my responsibility? Somebody almost feels there is a JD attached to it. What is my responsibility as one who is being mentored? Do I have to meet you every week? What if I don't feel like? What about that week when I don't want to? So when you formalize things, sometimes it becomes very complex. But when you just do it, it becomes so easy. When you just do it without the too much structure, it just becomes easy. So make that phone call. It's always just about a phone call or a text. So just make it. And maybe at a later time, we will get to share our experiences on how this has gone. I wish we had a part 2 of this with the same people so that we can get to share experiences. But yes, get an accountability partner to help you out with these areas that you feel you're struggling in. Thank you. Anything else that is coming out in the chat section, Christine?
I think that's it. People just are saying this is an informative. I'm learning so much today. Receiving mentorship is a challenge for me. I have a great professional network. So there is one person who has great professional network. Francis, you guys are the best. I've learned a lot from you, Karen. So yeah. Mercy, thank you for the elaboration about the question.
I think at that point, I will go back to sharing my screen so that we can then finalize. Now that we are done with the questions, I will just emphasize, I've seen Christine has put that in the chat section a lot, but yes, this training is brought to you by Delive Consulting Limited. We are a HR consulting company, and also we do corporate training. So the areas that we focus on in HR consulting is HR strategy, processes and systems. We do performance management. We do organization design. We do talent management. We do compensation and benefits. We do employee engagement surveys. We do HR function outsourcing for those small companies that don't want to set up a fully fledged HR office. Also do training on many areas, all these areas of HR, we do training. If you're struggling in your company with performance management, we train on that. We train on talent management. We train on culture. We train on customer experience, leadership development, sales, communication, culture and change management. All those are areas that we do train in. So should you feel that in your company you need quite a bit of this training, please reach out to Delive Consulting. Kristen has shared the link to our website. She has also shared, I think, an email address, info@deliveconsulting.com. I think you can be able to reach out to us on those. We also do have Scholar Pack, which is our sister company that deals with education consultancy services. And this is specifically for career counseling. We do career counseling for all levels of people, because yes, we do realize that sometimes people are at crossroads when it comes to their careers, and this would reflect to us as grown-up professionals, or even the younger ones who are in campus and they're not very clear which way they want to go. Some of them want admissions to universities abroad. We have large experience in setting up people for scholarships abroad, and just sponsorships for those where we can. Course and curricular development. Delive Consulting is your one-stop shop for everything HR consulting and training. Myself and Christine are doing a lot of the work, and we have a big team of consultants, of trainers that are working with us to develop the content, to ensure that we have these sessions, to prepare the training packs, and just to make sure that you have a good experience every time you interact with us. So we always say we do not have salespeople. You are our salespeople. Please spread the word, go out there and say Delive Consulting will do a good job for you, and we'll be more than delighted. Kristen, do we have Hall of Fame today?
Yes.
Okay.
So before we go to Hall of Fame, I just want to thank you for such an insightful session and such a great and interactive session. Basically, career development is very important in every aspect of our life. Personally, it's very important to me. And I've learned that career development is your own, it's personally determined. It's not about your company, it's not about your friends, it's not about your supervisor. So if you have to leave your company and pursue your own career, feel free to do so, because it's your own personal goal. And also, it's very important to analyze ourselves, do our SWOT analysis, analyze your strengths, analyze your weaknesses, know what you can do, know what you can't do, and who you can collaborate with to fill in the gaps, your weaknesses. And also, don't be afraid to seek mentorship, and also seek accountability. Have an accountability partner who will hold you accountable in your career. So thank you all for participating. Our most participative member, thank you all. You've all participated in this session. Let me just mention Mercy and Redemptor for participating frequently. I think you're the most participative members. The most punctual member was Brenda. Brenda Milizu, I hope I pronounce your name right. And biggest contributor, all of you have contributed, all of you are biggest contributors. So thank you so much. Like Karen has said, be our ambassadors. We do corporate trainings. We also do HR consultancy. So if you come across any organization or your organization want training in one way or in any areas that have been mentioned, kindly feel free to share our details. So also key in your email addresses in the chat section so that we can share someone has asked if we can share this recording. So yeah, sure. Just key in your email address and then we'll share with you the recording at the end of the training. So if you need any more details, just share your email address and then we'll send you later. So thank you all. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you everyone for attending. We have come to a close, so feel free to exit. Just exit with our email address, which is info@deliveconsulting.com, so that you can reach out to us in case of any queries after the training. My personal email is karen@deliveconsulting.com and Christine's is christine@deliveconsulting.com. So feel free to reach out to us. Follow up regarding these questions, these trainings, or even any other matters that you may have within your companies. Thank you so much. We are delighted and God bless you. Have a good day.